Hey everyone. So welcome to the second video or class of our mindfulness and MPS series. Today I want to talk about our nervous system and how stress affects it, and if there's things we can do to help soothe it while it's happening. You know, last week we spoke about, or I spoke about the big stresses that are happening, primarily the pandemic and the things that have came out of that pandemic, you know, job losses, not being able to see loved ones, the stress of education online or childcare, you know, all that stuff, right? And then we've also had this big understanding about social injustice. Of course, our friends of color have dealt with that their whole life, and some of us are just like waking up to the depth of the problem. In California, we're having forest fires. Other areas are affected by climate change. So these are like big stresses that are happening. But then we have our own personal stress. So stuff like, you know, maybe personal health issues or a relationship issue or just plain old math anxiety, right? So the list can go on for stresses. And I want to show you how our system handles stress and what we can do to help it work with that stress. So let me share the screen right now. So in the back of our brain is this primal part called the amygdala. Amygdala means almond shape, and it's actually two little almond shaped things that work. And what it does is it scans our environment constantly for threat. It's always, so even when you're just sitting down watching TV, the amygdala is checking out, making sure that our environment is safe. And it sends its findings to the autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system takes those findings, that data, right, and decides how to respond, how to mobilize the body for whatever's happening. And it has two places to go. It can mobilize the sympathetic nervous system or the parasympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is like our fight or flight. It means it's mobilizing our body to get ready to meet this challenge, either by fighting it, you know, or by running away. Either way, we need a physiology that supports that. It's like pressing the gas pedal of our nervous system. So what happens is when the amygdala senses threat and it sends that information to the autonomic nervous system, immediately, like in milliseconds, all of a sudden our body is mobilized. And what happens is like the heart rate increases because and our breath is faster because we need oxygen, right? To go to the blood vessels. The blood vessels switch around in that some are dilated and some are constricted to get blood and oxygen to our extremities to fight, flight, and to take it away from places that are not important, like digestion, right? Our muscles get tense, again, ready for fight or running. And then, you know, our cooling system turns on, we start to sweat. So when we're under stress, all these things are happening, right? Now, let's say the amygdala sends the information that, no, actually, we're just laying down, we're watching Netflix, just had a meal maybe, and we're feeling pretty chill. So then the autonomic nervous system says, okay, then the parasympathetic nervous system can kick in. And that's what we call rest and digest. And it's like putting on the brakes of our nervous system. So pretty much everything switches back, which means there's more blood flow to digestion. So we have increased saliva, and our stomach can digest easier. Our heart rate slows. Our blood vessels, you know, go back to resting to normal, and our muscles are relaxed because we're not having to run or fight something, right? So our body can actually go into a resting zone. Now, the thing about the parasympathetic nervous system is that it takes a while to do that. the sympathetic nervous system can turn on in milliseconds, like I said, because that's the way nature made it. We want you to be able to fight a threat right now. If some saber-toothed tiger jumps in front of you, that body has to be immediately mobilized. Then after the threat is gone, the hormones and everything that kicked in all those changes need to power down, change down, so that we can actually put on the brakes. It's kind of like a train. Well, it goes faster than a train, but it takes a long time to slow a train down. Even you're putting on the brakes, it's still going, right? So just so you know, that sympathetic can snap in action right away, and the parasympathetic takes time to power down. So this is our normal daily activation. Usually, just depending on what we're going through, our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system just kind of vacillate back and forth to what's needed. So, when we're sleeping, we're pretty much in parasympathetic, we're calmed down. But as we wake up and we have things to do, our heart rate increases a little bit, and we want some of that, because if we were in parasympathetic all the time, we wouldn't even get up to move or do anything. We just sit around and chill. But okay, so maybe we have to commute somewhere, or maybe we have to plug in our computer. We can't find the charging cable, and it's we're going to class and we need that computer, so we have to find the cable. But maybe we get there and we settle in, and and we start coming down, and then we have lunch and we're feeling pretty good, but then we remember there's an exam, and so heart rate goes again, a little more oxygen, we're starting to get slightly activated in order to deal with that challenge, and then it comes down, and so on and so on. So the nervous system is always trying to balance, right? And that's a healthy, normal nervous system. What happens, though, is if we get too much activation, or if we don't allow it to come down enough, because remember I said it takes time to come down, we tend to stay up in the sympathetic nervous system. And if we stay up there, then all those, where our heart rate's going to be faster, and our blood flow is different, and there's less blood to the digestion, so we could have a bad stomach or dry mouth, and we're sweating all the time. This is our body staying in the sympathetic nervous system. So again, we wake up, maybe we've come from parasympathetic, but we go right into the commuting. Maybe we have to get on the bus, and it's a little more stressful because somebody's not wearing a mask. And then we wolf down some lunch. We didn't really take time to calm down. And so we eat fast, and that tells the amygdala, yeah, we're still stressed. So I'm going to send more information to the nervous system that we're stressed. And then comes the exam. So now we're at a higher level, and we go even higher, right? And then we start to come down, but then we got some emails. It's just, you can see that we can stay up high in the sympathetic nervous system if we don't put on the brakes for ourselves, if we don't allow ourselves enough time to deactivate and kick in the parasympathetic nervous system. So how can we do that? So this is a list of things that kind of, and you've probably seen them in all these, self-help books and, online type sites that are about take care of yourself, but they're real. They are true. And the thing is that we have to take time to do it, again, because the parasympathetic nervous system needs that time. So the ones I have highlighted in blue are the ones that we're doing in this class. I'm just going to check the time. So like exercise and movement. I want to go through each one a little bit, even though we will talk about the blue ones in more depth during the class, but they're all important. So exercise and movement, really important, right? And it's becoming increasingly hard, especially in California with the fires, to even go outside and take a walk, right? But if you can think of ways your body likes to move, and again, when it's moving happily, the amygdala is going to resonate, oh, we're good, we're safe, things are okay. And it's going to send the message to the autonomic nervous system, dude, you can turn on the parasympathetic because we're having a good time. So what can we do if we get stuck and we can't take a walk? You know, turn on some videos, yoga videos, or dance. You know, put on your music and just dance around, even for 10 minutes or something. I mean, I highly recommend just giving yourself a chance to move and not think about issues is helpful, really helpful. Of course, mindfulness is one way to put on the brakes, and that's what we're doing in this class. Sending good wishes, and we'll talk more about that, but just if we, you know, bring attention to thinking about loved ones and people we care about, that just soothes our nervous system. It tells the amygdala, oh yeah, those good feelings I have with people I care about, and maybe in my mind, I'm gonna say, you know, I wish you're really happy. It soothes the nervous system. The amygdala reads it as safety and then sends the information back to, okay, we can start to put on the brakes and we can slow down. That actually is a picture of my daughter and her dog Hugo. So the next thing we work with is breath work. And in this case, there's many different types of breath work. In this case, we're gonna bring our attention to our breath, and we're also gonna learn about deep breaths, you know, and how helpful they are. But breath work is one of the quickest ways to help your nervous system, because if the amygdala catches us breathing fast and heavy, it says, oh, there must be a threat around. But if we can slow our own breath and actually elongate the exhale, which is which kicks in the parasympathetic nervous system, then the amygdala says, oh, she's breathing slower, so we must be calming down. And in that sense, we actually break that cycle, right? We can get in there and disrupt the thought that we're not safe. So massage is one, and of course, we can't get massages anymore because of COVID, but you can do it for yourself. You know, you can put your feet in some warm water or cool water if it's hot, and, you know, get some lotion and massage your feet, or just massage your hands and really bring attention to what it feels like, right? And it could be pleasant. And again, that soothes your nervous system. Noticing good things, and we'll do a class on this, where you know, we tend to notice bad stuff that's happening. And so we want to make sure that we actually look around and see what is good, and make sure we bring our attention to that, so that our system registers that, oh, there is good going on. It's not all bad. It's not all math tests and politics and scary stuff. A body scan is where we go part by part and just see if we can relax these areas, or at least bring attention to them, because that could end up easing tension in body parts just by bringing our attention to them. And it's just a way we go systematically down the body. And that picture is my kitty Fry. Gratitude is another positive state that tends to make the nervous system relax, because we go, oh yeah, we do have good things to be grateful for. And thank goodness I had water come out of my, you know, shower this morning, or that great cup of coffee or something, you know, or people that care about me. So we'll work with that. And then of course, spending time in nature if you can, even if that means, and it's become hard in the Bay Area here with the smoky air, but even if you have like a plant in your house and you watch it, or you look out the window and see a hummingbird go by, or a tree blowing in the wind, whatever you can do with nature. Having a pet is nature. So and if you can actually get out in it, it's very soothing to the nervous system. And then any hobbies or play, and I shouldn't say any, I guess, ones that are soothing. So if you're doing like a, you know, knock down, drag out video games, and you notice that your heart is pounding fast and it's stressing you out, that's not a hobby that is putting on the brakes. That's actually activating. But that's really good that you notice that, right? Because if you're entertainment is also activating your nervous system, you might want to rethink that. So your nervous system is telling you, hey, this hobby of yours is actually activating me more, and I was still activated. And you get to say, oh, you know what? Let's do something different so we can deactivate. And then we'll go back. We can go back because the nervous system can go up and down in terms of activation. But right now, if I need some deactivating things, maybe I can play my instrument or do some, sightseeing at the stars, stargazing, or take some photographs, whatever makes you feel calm, to put on those brakes for your nervous system. Okay, so I'm gonna escape from this. Okay, so I'm hoping that gave you an idea of what the nervous system does. So the amygdala is watching for threat. It's sending information to your autonomic nervous system that's deciding what we should do with this information. And if we can send some information to the amygdala that in fact we're doing okay, we're in nature right now, we're relaxing, we're noticing that people care for us, then the amygdala will send information to the autonomic nervous system that says we can calm down. And if we notice that we're staying up high in stress, we definitely need to do some of those practices. Okay? So on that note, let's do a practice. So I call this seeing and sensing okayness. And actually, I'm getting this from a book called Mind, Body, Stress, Reset by Rebecca Ledine. And it's pretty good. So I don't call it that. I think she calls it that. So, okay. So first, let's check in with our body. And I don't know if you noticed, but I took a deep breath there. If you feel like taking a deep breath, if that sort of feels like a place to start, please invite yourself to do that, or allow yourself to do that. And I'm closing my eyes, but that's habit. We don't need our eyes closed right now. But I do want you to check in with your body and notice if you're comfortable. And see if you can rearrange yourself to get comfortable. Putting your feet up, or maybe moving a pillow, or just sitting straighter, or a little more leaning, or whatever feels best. Check in. And again, to show you how this works, so the nervous system is constantly sending the messages, the amygdala, and we're going to check in with our body and say, how can I settle this body so that it's sending more messages to the amygdala that we're okay? It's like a loop. And then the amygdala sends the message, we're okay, and then it kicks in the parasympathetic nervous system, so we're calm. And then we say, look, we're calm, and it sends more message. Yeah. So you've rearranged yourself, hopefully, and you're feeling relatively comfortable. And see if you can sense into your body now that comfort. Can you actually notice comfort or okayness? In essence, we're kind of looking for okayness. Comfortable is okayness. Maybe you can feel the support that your chair, or your couch, or floor is giving you. And so you're sensing your body and feeling that support wherever it is. And there may be places that don't feel supported, but we're actually bringing our attention to the places that do feel supported. So now I'd like you to take a good long look around the room and take your time. It's like a little game. What we want to do is let your eyes kind of go where they want to go. And so maybe you see some pictures on the wall. What you're looking for is where your eyes stop that see something pleasing or enjoyable. And you want to give them time. And you might see maybe a view out a window, or the way the light falls on something, or some texture. But if your eyes like something, they'll probably stop on it. And when they do, you can kind of take that in. And you can notice, like, what happens to the body when your eyes are like just gazing on something that is interesting or enjoyable. Does anything happen? We're not trying to make anything happen. We're just allowing our body to do what it needs to do to settle itself. It's really intelligent. It might not seem that way, but it really is. You know, our body's been in this world, our collective bodies, our physiologies for a long time. And so it's picked up some understanding about the way things are. So if we can trust it. So now, let's say your eyes are focused on something that's pleasing. Maybe it's a soft gaze, doesn't have to be really hard focused. And you're sensing possibly that, you know, there's some settling, you're being held in your chair, you feel the support. And see if you can join your breath with that. Like, do you notice your breath? The in-breath, the out-breath. Don't change it at all, unless it wants to change. Or if you notice a change, like it picks up the pace, I mean, it could be information. Because for me, in the beginning, the breath was a little difficult to work with. And so that might not be a place to put your attention if it doesn't feel good to your body. And in that case, you can go back to what you were looking at that was pleasant, or to the feeling of support in your body. And allowing all that sensing to go on. The sensing of okayness, of what feels pleasant or enjoyable, or at least neutral. And so just taking a moment to experience this. Easy does it, and take your time. We're noticing our gazing, our sensing the body and the breathing. And we're tracking it with our attention and just allowing it to be like it is. And again, noticing what that does for us. Is it pleasant? Not so much? Is there something your body tells you to do to make it pleasant? Somewhere else to go? A different view? Adjust your body to be more comfortable? And if we get off track with maybe some thoughts, like we start thinking about solving a math problem or what we're going to do after, that's really okay, right? We can notice that, and in the interest of bringing our attention back, we can just come back and again, settle into that soft place, that comfortable place. Re-engage our eyes maybe, and allow us to rest again, if that works. So we're not fighting with what the body does. We're gently guiding it and listening to what it's telling us. So when we re-engage our attention, we're getting a strong attention muscle, like I said, so that we can actually bring more attention to these pleasant, neutral areas. And we're also practicing being gentle and patient with this process. And being attuned means we're listening to what our body's telling us. So here's the deal. When the amygdala scans patience and caring and that we're listening, then it will send the message that we're safe and safe to relax. So as we just scan the body and notice and allow it to move in its own gentle way and trust it, we're sending the message to the amygdala. We're safe. The amygdala sends a message to the autonomic nervous system. We're safe. We relax more. We get in that positive cycle. If we ever pop out, that's really okay. That's normal. It's not like we're doing anything bad. We're trusted. Oh, we popped out. Amygdala thought it saw something so let me just go back to that sensing my body, my support. Okay, so here comes the bell again. And in the interest of moving your attention around, bring your attention from that support and that gazing to the sound of the bell. And see if you can hold it there until you can't hear it anymore, okay? Okay, so now that we're kind of back from where, I don't know, from sensing our body, right? Because then we can pop right into our mind and start working on our math problems and all that, which is fine, because actually we're a little more settled, and then this part works better. But let's just check around, right? Okay, how are we doing? Okay, this is different. Maybe I feel more settled. Maybe I don't. Maybe I notice I'm really tired. Who knows? But we're going to listen to our nervous system and pay attention. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on this ride with me, and I hope it was helpful. And whenever, just use this video to come back to it. You can fast forward to just the practice part and use it for yourself when you need it. When you decide that you need some putting on those brakes, this is the kind of thing that will help you. And don't feel like, oh, something's wrong with me because I can't do it by myself. No, we all need help. I need help. I have teachers and meditation apps and everything that help me calm down too. So please take advantage of all those resources out there. Okay? Okay, so have a good week. Thank you all.